Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun live. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Because we are currently in noon, yeah, right? So thank you so much for joining me. Please read the caption of this broadcast, the description of the broadcast as usual. Like it, then share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell all of them that Mayegun today. It is day 10, something you can call the grand finale of the days of rage. Has the protest yielded anything at all? Well, the protesters, organizers, they disagree that the protest has yielded anything. But today, being the 10th day of the first 10-day warning protest, it is called the grand finale. And I have brought to you this moment, what is happening across Nigeria today, and other developments too. Read beyond the caption, read the description, share it. Tell everybody. What today? Sorry, guys. Yeah. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, and then good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. Again, it is brunch time with Mayegun, and today, this moment, I'm going to give us the snippet into how is it going across Nigeria on the 10th day of days of rage to end bad governance. In these 10 days, the only response that the protesters have received from Tinubu was a bullet from the police and the military. The brutality, the arrests, the killings, and the rest has been the only response from Tinubu in the last 10 days. So you can practically say Tinubu called the bluff of the Nigerians protesting the hardship, economic hardship, So here, last night, the protesters, organizers, right, they had what they call the World Press Conference to review what it has been like in the last 9 days, now 10 days, okay? So we're going to start from that. It's a bit of, presser. So I want you to please sit back, relax, and let's start with this.
We gather here today with heavy heart to address the nation in response to the recent broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu regarding the ongoing and bad governance in Nigerian peaceful protests. These protests are happening across the length and breadth of our beloved country because we are witnessing a period of unprecedented hardship and turmoil. Since President Tinubu's inauguration on May 29, 2023, when he announced the removal of the fuel subsidy without any structured plan to mitigate the negative impact on the people, the lives of ordinary Nigerians have been turned upside down. It is we, the common citizens, who are bearing the brunt of this decision as we struggle under unpalatable socioeconomic conditions. Our nation is in crisis. Our nation is truly in crisis, sincerely speaking. And we must come together to work as brothers to continue to demand good governance for our leaders. The Nigerian people have been plunged into deeper poverty and hardship. Subsistence farming has vanished, leaving many families in distress. Parents struggle to put food on the table. It's a sad episode in our country. And some are forced to make stew with cucumbers because basic vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and onions are too expensive. Farmers live in fear of bandits and kidnappers, preventing them from cultivating their lands, which contribute to the food scarcity we face. The economic turmoil has led to unpaid school fees, and as of 2024, UNICEF has declared Nigeria as having the world's highest number of out-of-school children. This is an urgent situation that demands immediate attention. This is not too much to ask, that our children should be given the opportunity to go to school, that an enabling environment should be created by federal government to accommodate those who are out of school. The number of out-of-school children is unprecedented in the history of this country. Crime rates are soaring as people become increasingly desperate. Communities are attacked. Villages are ransacked. Innocent lives are lost. Ancestral lands are seized. This is not the Nigeria we aspire to build. Our people are not greedy. Nigerians are never greedy. Nigerians are one of the people that can be easily appeased when government do right and stand right by them. We ask only for a decent standard of living, which can be provided by any competent leader. What we are talking about is about competency. It's about the fact that you cannot take irrational policy decisions. It's about the fact that you cannot wake up without proper planning, without proper study. You say subsidy is gone. That has brought untold hardship on our people, increasing the transportation cost alone by 300%, from 190 naira per liter of fuel to 800 naira, now 1,000 plus. How do you say Nigerian people should not ask their government to do better? We're asking our people to do better. It is particularly disappointing to see this government, led by President Tinubu, who once stood as an opposition leader and supported protests, now using state forces to suppress the right of citizens. Section 39, Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution, along with Article 19 and 20 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, guarantee our rights to freedom of expression, and peaceful assembly. Yet, when Nigeria exercises this right under this government, led by President Tinubu, they are faced with brutality and even death. The penalty for protest is not death penalty. The punishment for protest should be at least water cannon, rubber bullet. People are protesting in UK as we speak. How many record of death have they recorded? Because the police must be civil. Civil society and the security agency must adhere to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the protesters in Abuja and other elsewhere have respected their right to peaceful protest. We have witnessed tragic events, such as the killing of Abbas Kabiru by the Nigerian police in Kaduna and the death of 16-year-old Ismail Muhammad at the hands of the Nigerian army. These are only a few examples of the violence that peaceful protesters have endured, with the Amnesty International stating over 22 peaceful protesters brutally killed by the security agencies. If not because of the pressure that came from Kaduna, that the Nigerian army accepted and said in public realm and even offer apology, and then paying 300,000 naira to the family of the deceased, a 16-year-old boy. What will 300,000 do to the family? Look at the emotional trauma that comes from that. If they have applied the alternative of trying to negotiate, speak to Nigerians who are the custodian in the first place of what people governance are, it should be. We won't be in this state of struggling to give our people a fair hearing. The 1999 Constitution has amended, clearly protect our inalienable rights, including the right to protest. According to the Constitution, no one should be held without being charged to court for more than 48 hours. Yet, individuals like Alhaji Khalid Aminu remains in detention without charges, languishing in the SSS custody in Kaduna. This is unacceptable, and the government must do everything possible to release all peaceful protesters or charge them to court. Nigeria may be a lawless place, But our fundamental human rights will not be taken away from us. We demand that all those detained in connection to the ongoing protest be released with immediate effect, or else President Tinubu should be ready to arrest and kill us all. The demand of Nigerians who have gathered peacefully since August 1st, 2024 must be heard. We seek relief from the economic hardship inflicted upon us by the irrational policy of President Tinubu-led government. The use of live ammunition against peaceful protesters is intolerable and must end immediately. We also declare that the harassment and intimidation of journalists who are bona fide members of the fourth estate of the realm for covering the protest is a breach of the Constitution and other relevant international laws, and this should also be stopped immediately. We saw journalists being harassed. We saw journalists from AIT who were shot at the airport, who had serious injury on their leg, broke their leg. We saw a new central journalist. I'm a trained journalist myself. I know the right of journalists in the country to be able to keep Nigeria in the right direction and continue to inform the citizens about policies and decisions of government, and also inform the government. They are the gap between the two sides. And if you now start to now make sure that there's no free press, as soon as there's no free press, then there's no democracy. As soon as there's no freedom, and then there's no democracy. As long as the people cannot voice their voice without fear, then our democracy continue to languish in the hands of those who are intimidating us. Our protests are not staged for criminals. To those who see our peaceful protests as a means to put their criminal activities to practice, you are not part of our cause. Our cause is good governance. Our cause, we demand that government must be responsible. Our cause, we demand that government must cut the excessive spending on themselves and ignoring the Nigerian masses. Our cause is that public schools must work for public good. Our cause is that public resources must be used for the development of this country. Our cause is that our refinery must work so that we stop importing and spending dollars that we don't have. Our cause is that human rights must be respected. We call on President Tinubu to immediately halt the use of brute force by security agencies against peaceful protesters. There's no place for the use of live ammunition on peaceful protesters. Nigerians have the right to protest.
That's all right for now. Thank you, comrade. Because, you know, there are so many narratives out there trying to criminalize the peaceful protest and delegitimize their demands. But it is not going away. Yeah, maybe it is, Nigerians who are claiming to be angry, or scared to stand up for themselves. They have given these criminals the leverage to continue to ignore the legitimate demands. So that's part of their presser, the press conference, to say, listen, we know he's never probably going to yield, and you would have to do more than this. But pending that time, their demands are legit. They want refinery that works. They want you to cut down the cost of governance, right? Get refineries that work. Even Dangote refinery is facing so much attacks from the same supposed government of the country. It's ironical, isn't it? So their demands are very easy. The children, they have the right to education. And if it is not being given, yeah, the school children can be, or the school-age children can be on the streets, millions of them. Talking about food production, end terrorism. Let them see that you actually want to end terrorism, and people can actually farm and grow their food and avoid the coming severe hunger. Because whatever you are experiencing right now, we have been told that it is just a child's play. It's going to get worse. And it is not because you are not prayerful enough. It is not because you are a sinner. It is because of Tinubu's policy, which is APC, Egbekebe's policies, that will continue to pardon terrorists, coddle them, while they destroy every fabric of your survivor. So that's the policy. They lie to you every now and then, give you false hope. So every day, the thing degenerates more and claims its victims. So these demands are legit. Reverse this policy that you probably never had any plan for just because you wanted to sound that big, but you are a fraud. Nigerians are paying so much for gas or for petrol, right now, because Tinubu told you that he's removed the subsidy. But that's a lie. So they've been paying over 900 billion naira for subsidy, yet you are still buying the fuel at that price. That's cheating. That's fraud. The money goes into the private pocket of all these criminals. It doesn't go to the pocket of Nigeria so that they can say, okay, all this, every price you are paying, this high cost of living, right? The money still come back to us where we can now use it to cushion your effect. It turned to Father Christmas. He's giving money to governors to go and share. He lied to you that he's sending you rice. About what the heck, man? So people are more people are now in IDP camps. Those people were supposed to be on the streets. That's something I don't understand. I appreciated in northern Nigeria where you see all those people on the street, they are the real affected people. And that's why they will keep coming out. I'm waiting to give you the coverage from all over Nigeria comprehensively later this evening. But I've got some snippets. But let's listen to this comrade's presser, the second part, please.
So in as much as the government is trying all their possible best to be very brutal with peaceful protesters, when they can carry that brutality to end insecurity, when they can use that same brutality to go and end banditry and end kidnapping, or bringing it to peaceful protesters, no matter what they try to do, no matter how they try to ensure that people's morals and people's belief and courage is actually trampled on. It will not, because people will still protest every day. People will protest the price of fuel. People will protest the price of our normal standard of living. People will protest the price of food items. Everything is inflated, and all the citizens of the country are asking for is sort it out, fix it. And rather than fix it, you start to throw tear gas, shooting live bullets at peaceful protesters. Where is that done anywhere in the world?
Insane.
Where is that done? Because there is nowhere in the world that even if you want to even put people in a courtroom, they'll tell you that your sin or your crime is actually punishable by death. There's no crime in peaceful protest, and there's nowhere in the world that they'll tell you that if having a peaceful protest, you have to be punished by death. This was the Nigerian flag that was used in peaceful protest, and it was hit thousands of times with tear gas. And these people don't even respect the flag. They don't respect the Nigerian citizens. And the Nigerian citizens are coming out to us now. These are our demands. All we want you to do is end hunger. Like everything is actually going down in the country. All because of a very, very wrong statement that was made. How is it so difficult for you to fix it? And rather than fixing it, you want to start picking up peaceful protesters, or you want to start ensuring that people feel inconsequential in the country of their own. That is very wrong. The peaceful protesters are not going to stop protesting. Every day of our lives we protest. We will continue to protest the prices of food items. We'll continue to protest the standard of living in Nigeria until it is fixed. Our demands are clear. Fix it.
These are the probing questions that we have failed to address. It's not whether people are still coming out for the protest or not. I'm sure that you are newsmen, and I believe that the general public also follow the news. And you can see what is happening over other states. Not only Abuja, the protest is not only happening in Abuja or Lagos State, it is nationwide. And we have listed things that Nigerian people will need. It is not a personal need for myself, nor for the people that you see in this press conference. It is for the collective good of citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it is actually an embarrassment to this democracy which we claim to practice, that these same protesters are being oppressed in this manner. How can children be dying in a peaceful protest? Children are dying. These are the same events that happened during the NSAS protest in 2020, and it is a repeated reoccurrence. If we are indeed giants of Africa, we should be able to lay those roadmaps. We should be able to lay good examples, both in democracy, in judicial reforms, in electoral reforms, in the economy, in commerce. What is the ease of doing business currently in Nigeria? Businesses are folding. Companies are leaving Nigeria. So the issue is not about how many people remain on the streets. The issue is that has the problems been solved? And it is unfortunate that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who addressed the nation, could not address any of the things that these people have been on the streets protesting for. Not one was addressed. Not one. The hunger persists, the inflation persists, the economic difficulty persists, and a lot more. In fact, individual businesses, which is the private sector, which is supposed to be running our economy, has been crippled. How much do you buy diesel or fuel in order to, solve the problems of your businesses around? So I think that we should be asking the government the right questions and not the citizens. If they cannot answer to our demands, then I'm afraid that this protest will continue. Protest is simply airing your grievances, and like he has rightly mentioned, it is enshrined in all records, all laws, both international laws and treaties that Nigeria is a signatory to.
The level of armory, the level of personnel that have been deployed to quell peaceful protests. That is to show that we can even end banditry. That is to show that we can even secure ungoverned spaces. That is to show that we can secure our federal highways over how many thousand kilometers. So what we are saying, you have the intimidation, the harassment is the reason why in this press conference is even happening in the first place. That people have been harassed. You ask something, you go to another, that people have been picked up. We spoke here that Aminu has been in detention. So these are factors that are militating that, look, you can suppress an idea. You can suppress people's right. You can suppress people's opinion. But it lives in their heart. And that suppression is the reason why democracy is not germinating well. And the people must stand. And the people must collectively demand good governance. And for that reason, we are committed to the peaceful protest. We are committed. What we are doing here is peaceful protest. What we are doing here is peaceful protest. The young men that you see here have come out to speak. You understand? Please, we are not giving in like we have said. What we have said is that we are re-emphasizing some of the requests that we have made for the protest starting for August 1. That these requests are alive. Electoral reforms are important. Without proper electoral environment, without proper elections being conducted that will represent true wishes and aspirations of our people, without a reform that will protect that one man, one vote, without a reform that will say that from the ECA must be scanned directly through the beavers to the IRED, without such reforms and without proper electoral environment, we will elect leaders that will not be beholden to the people, that will not respond to the people. Leaders will elect themselves. So these are demand every citizens, every government will adhere to. And say, let's have our people elect our leaders. What is too much to ask? Hunger day, oh. Hunger day.
Please let's Mr. Maxwell just key into that.
So I think we would have to wait for the real hungry people to stage their own revolution, because as it stands, yeah, the protest continues, right? However, it's obvious that a protest won't force the hand of Tinubu, even though they have managed to enrich some certain people simply because they want to give an impression that whatever economic hardship you are facing, maybe it's just about hunger. And when you keep shouting, hunger deal, then they will keep offering rice and money as well, right? But that's the oppressor. This morning, from Abuja to Ibadan, to Akure, to Abeokuta, then Lagos, and a few other places like that, early this morning, I've kind of compiled a few of them, and I'm going to share them with you. So let's start with this.
What are we saying? We are hungry. What are we saying? We are hungry. We are hungry. We are hungry. What are we saying? We are hungry.
Articulate Nigerian people. Today is August 10, 2024. Earlier we declared the 10 days of rage to end bad governance in Nigeria. However, it is now open to everyone that President Bola Tinubu is not ready to listen to the demands of Nigerians. Neither does he want to accede to these demands. Now, today is the final day of the 10 days of rage. However, when we are leaving, we'll be leaving the street today. We are promising the Nigerian government and President Tinubu that we are coming back until or unless he accedes to our demand. We will come back to the street And this time will be more than this.
Yes.
This time we'll be declaring a 10 million people march across Nigeria.
Yes.
Across the state of Nigeria and the NDC. Greatest Nigeria people. Are you hungry or not?
We are hungry.
Are you hungry or not?
We are hungry.
What are we saying?
We are hungry.
What are we saying?
We are hungry.
Munaji Yunwa.
Munaji Yunwa.
Munaji Yunwa.
Munaji Yunwa.
Munaji Yunwa.
Munaji Yunwa.
What are we saying?
We are hungry.
What are we
Fight for our right. Solidarity forever. Forever. We shall always fight for our right. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our right. Kò sí dáríjì fún ọmọ tó bá dalẹ̀.